All right, guys, today we're going to be showing you how to properly wash a Stag VARG. This is going to be basically like you do any other dirt bike, but there are a couple things we want to make note of just to be careful when you do it. So one of them, the first thing you're going to want to do is right up here. These bikes come with a phone, or it's a console, basically, your dashboard. You're going to want to remove the device, okay? But with that said, this is not, there's no electrical connections in here. So if you look, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies in here, but there is no electrical things to worry about. So you can get soap on this, you can clean it out. We have noticed that dirt and things will pack up in here, just in some of these little cracks and stuff. So it's nice to find a cleaner that's non-corrosive, put it on here, agitate a little bit, you can rinse it out. So big piece to start, take out the phone. Next up, it is electric, so there's a lot of seals on this bike. If we come around here and look, as you're washing, all up in these areas, you've got a lot of seals going on. All this stuff, you've got your battery. You don't have to remove the battery from this. It's not recommended. It's fully waterproof. These things, there's videos of these going underwater, so wouldn't worry too much about it, especially when you're just using either a hose or a pressure washer. But be careful around the seals, especially if you are using a pressure washer. We are using Slick Products pressure washer today. It's an electric. It's about 2,000, slightly over 2,000 PSI, which is on the lighter side. It's not super heavy. If you're using a gas pressure washer, something that's 2,800 PSI and a 3,500 PSI, even up to 4,000, just be careful, especially when you get close. You don't want to blast water in any of these things. So that's something to just take note of. Find a pressure washer that's electric, somewhere around the 2,000 PSI, you'll be perfectly fine. Recommend Slick Products. Another thing to note when you're washing these, find products that are non-corrosive. We have found that with Slick Products means all their products are non-corrosive and pH balanced. So when you are washing dirt bikes or other off-road vehicles, there's a lot of anodized parts or softer aluminum on these vehicles. Be careful with that. Obviously the casing and things around here on the battery, your rims, your forks, just be careful, right? You don't want to use something that's highly corrosive. There are a ton of cheap products out there that instantly, within seconds, are just going to ghost your rims. You're going to find stuff that looks faded and dull even after the first wash. So just highly recommend, find a product that works for you. We love Slick Products here, obviously. These products are awesome. And today we're going to be doing the 3-step process. We have our off-road wash, our cleaner degreaser, and then a shine to follow up at the end. So step 1 would be soak everything down, remove the dirt and mud. Step 2, target any areas that have a little bit tougher grime. Step 3, once the vehicle's clean and dry, you are going to want to spray it down with the shine, towel it off. It'll be ready to go, perfect for your next ride. Another thing to note, when you are washing, we are going to use a pressure washer today. We highly recommend using a foam cannon. It dilutes. This is a super concentrate, so this dilutes the solution really quick, and then it turns it into a nice silky soapy foam that sits on the vehicle, attacks the dirt and mud and loosens it up, and then it will rinse it all away and break it down. Highly recommend getting yourself one of these. They're also a ton of fun to use. Don't have a pressure washer? Another thing you can try, Slick makes a garden hose foam gun. Just take your normal garden hose, attaches right here to the bottom of the handle, screws in. You're going to add a little bit of the concentrated soap in here, fill the rest with water, set your dial setting to the amount of foam you like, foam it down, spray it on. Same process after that. Okay, another last tip that you're going to want to look for. This does not have an exhaust, so there's no reason for an exhaust plug on these bikes. However, it does have an electrical port. So this is your charging port right here. This little thing, if it's flopped out, you need to make sure that this is plugged in before you wash the bike. Get it plugged in, get it nicely sealed on there, and you're good to go. So that's the only other plug you're gonna have to worry about on these bikes compared to a normal dirt bike. and this should come out looking brand new. So let's get into it. We're going to start by mixing our off-road wash concentrate in our foam cannon. So we're gonna show you guys how to do that. Basically, you need about 2 to 4 ounces of solution, and the rest we do with water.
So once you get your foam cannon all set, your solution mixed up, all you're gonna wanna do now is you wanna attach this to your pressure washer wand. Quick connect, pops right in. Bang, easy. There's a fan on here, so it goes in and out, and that changes the width of the spray. We're ready to foam it down, so we're just gonna coat the whole vehicle dry. You don't have to pre-soak or anything. I just use this as a pre-soak. As you can see, it's just kind of soaking and eating into the dirt and mud right now. We're gonna wanna let it sit here for about 2 to 3 minutes, as long as you can without it drying up. You kind of want to let it just soak in. Once it's sat for about 2 minutes or so, it's going to still sit on here, but what you're going to want to do, included with the kit that we sell, there is a microfiber mitt, and then you also have a soft bristle scrub brush. So I would recommend start with the mitt. We're gonna get all the plastics with it. We just don't wanna risk scratching anything on here. And then the soft bristle brush is a little bit better for underneath fenders and then on the tires. So really the only purpose of this is just to slightly agitate. You really wanna make sure that the product lets the dirt and mud let go of the surface is what we're really trying to achieve. So just a quick, light agitation. Doesn't have to be everywhere. Just get what you can get as quickly as possible, because this process is supposed to be fast. Kind of get in any of these little like cracked areas, just lightly hit them. So once you get that agitated a little bit, lightly agitate, pop one of the tips on your pressure washer. I'm using 40. It's the biggest fan I have. It's just so that I don't want like a lot of the pressure blasting in these seals. So I'm taking extra precaution. Just use this, fan at 40 degrees, you're good. And then we're just gonna go over it, wash it off. So as I'm doing this part around the battery and the motor, I'm just trying to give it some space, probably about 2 feet at least away. Just give it some distance, come back in later if you need to. Use the cleaner degreaser, don't risk it. Not a lot of scrubbing even needed. It just eats it away and it's good. All right, so step 2, we're gonna use the cleaner and degreaser. Again, that is a non-corrosive product. You don't have to worry about it getting on any anodized parts or anything. We're just really gonna focus it on probably just a little bit more around the tires, probably a few places like underneath the fenders, a little bit more, and then around the chain and sprocket, and that's it. Okay, so cleaner and degreaser time. Use the soft bristle brush, target any areas that you might have overlooked with the off-road wash, or anything you see that might have like oil, greasier, like tougher grime. The off-road wash is designed not to strip lubrication, so it's less effective against like the oils. And that's designed on purpose that way, so that you're not stripping lubrication from bearings or any other pivot points on these machines when you soak the whole thing down. That's why you use this as step 2, to just target the areas that you want. You don't want to soak the whole thing with a degreaser. So let's do this. So the degreaser has 2 settings. You can do the mist spray like this, or you can turn it to a jet to get into some tighter areas. So sometimes I like just doing it with the jet. It seems to target stuff where I want it rather than misting all over. So see here, you got some kind of goop right around the sprocket. Just chain oil and goop that's left over. This is really effective against that. And again, like, you're gonna come back in and oil your chain anyway. So you wanna target these. What you don't wanna do is soak the whole machine with a degreaser. It'll get in all these little areas where bearings are in, and those are really hard. You're not gonna take that out and repack it with grease. So I just recommend like using a degreaser as a target for step 2, and then something else like the off-road wash that can coat the whole machine. Doesn't matter where it goes, it's safe, it's effective, and it does what it's supposed to do. Let's just get a little bit on there. You're just gonna quickly agitate. I kind of just like to do a little bit on the rim, sometimes like in between these little areas in here you'll kind of overlook, and it's nice just to do a quick one. Sometimes underneath you miss some spots. We'll get a little bit underneath here. Any little bit of film that was left over from that thick stuff. Boom. Come around to the other side of the tire. Hit it a couple times. That's really it. You don't have to overdo it. But as I said, it's a different cleaner. Works differently than the off-road wash. A little more effective at removing certain stuff from the bike, like the nastier films or the grease or grime. So once you got those, just take your pressure washer again really quick, rinse it off, and you're good. All right, so once you've finished step 1, step 2, bike should be perfectly clean, which it is right now. It's just a little bit wet, so we're just gonna take our microfiber towel, we're gonna dry it down, then we're gonna do step 3, which is our shine and protectant, great for plastic, rubber, vinyl, any other surface. On this, we're doing all the plastics underneath the fenders and around some of the wheels and on the rims, and we're gonna wipe it down again. We'll just use the other side of the towel. So let's start. We'll go gray side to dry, flip it green side to buff this in. Now that you got it dried down, let's take our magic spray and yeah, let's hit down all the surfaces. Just do a lightly mist coating. Especially under here, you're gonna wanna get areas where mud packs up. So the next time it just doesn't adhere to the surface. So we'll get this nice and good. Kind of let that sit in, definitely under the fenders. We're gonna use this. Just get a nice little coating right down the middle, a little bit on the sides. So that's pretty much it. What you don't want to do, don't put this on the shrouds where you're going to pinch with your legs. Don't put it on your seat. Don't put it on your grips. Try to avoid all those areas. Just really hit any exterior parts that you want to look shiny, look new. And then any parts that you want to keep the mud from adhering, like we said, under the fenders, the skid plate in the front to really stop the mud from packing there. And that's it. And then once it sits for a little while, give it a few minutes or leave the bike in your garage overnight. Come back the next day, use your towel. We're gonna use the other side. We're just gonna buff it in, at least on these outer plastics. The rest of the stuff that's underneath, I would just leave, I wouldn't touch it. And the reason I don't wanna touch it, underneath on the thick areas is because I want it thick there so that when the mud hits it next time, I've got a nice layer. And one tip is if you bring this with you in your gear bag to the track, pull this product out right before you ride or hit the trail, whatever you're doing. Give it a nice little coating underneath, definitely in the front again, where mud's gonna pack up. I promise you it will make washing the next time way easier. Any stuff that gets really thick, it just is not gonna stick on like we saw today because this was a brand new bike. Okay, so that is how you wash a Stag VARG. We hope you enjoyed the video. Again, just follow those simple steps. Like we said, make sure you remove the phone, check the plug, wash the bike as normal, use the right products, and you'll be good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more.